Seribbles. Let's go. Tonight, just as he always does, Dad asked Frankie, "Shall I read you a story?" And just as he always does, Frankie says, "Oh no!" It makes Dad sad that Frankie always says no. Oh no! Frankie never wants to a story. He'd rather sing a song, or have a tickle, or a laugh and tumble with Dad, or best of all, have a long cuddle with Mom until he goes to sleep. "Why not?" asked Dad. "I don't like stories because there are lots of scribbles in books." "Whatever do you mean, scribbles?" asked Dad. He picked up a book. "Take a look. This one is brand new. There aren't any scribbles, just lovely pictures of a rabbit, an owl, and a squirrel. Look." "Yes, there are," says Frankie. "Look, there are scribbles everywhere." "Those aren't scribbles," says Dad. "Look, there are lines and curves. When you put them together, they make letters. When you put the letter together, they make words. And when you put all the words together, they make a story. When you know how to read, you can read everything. A bedtime story, the postcard from Grandma, even your letter from Santa Claus about the toys he's going to bring." Santa Claus learned to read when he went to school, so now he can read the letter that children send him asking for special Christmas present. Otherwise, how would he know what the letter said? It's all about Martians who rescue a princess from the dragon, and the pirates who won the dragon and want to steal the princess's treasure. It is a very complicated story, and Frankie fell asleep before Dad has finished it. The next morning, on the way to work, Dad think up another story. This one is much shorter and simpler. So that evening, Dad tells Frankie the new story. It's all about Joy, a little bear who has lost his pot of honey. He wants to swap it for a skipping rope with his friend Leila. Joy looks everywhere. At last, he finds a pot of honey under his bed, and Leila swaps it for her skipping rope. They are both happy. Leila eats the honey while Joy learns how to skip. Leila tells Joy what to do. She says he eats too much honey. She might get a big fat bottom, and it can be difficult to skip well if you have a big fat bottom. Joy keeps on practicing. He skips and skips, and while he skips, Leila eats honey. by the time Lila was finished the pot, Joy can skip. The next evening, when Dad said, "Bedtime, what shall we do? Sing a song? Read a story?" Frankie asked for the story about the two little bears. So Dad told the story about Joy and the pot of honey he found in his sock drawer and swapped for a skipping rope. "No, Dad, you got it wrong," says Frankie. "He didn't find it in his sock drawer. It was under his bed." The next evening, Frankie wants the same story, so Dad tells him about Joy, who swaps his skipping rope for some red and yellow lollipops. "No, Dad, you got it wrong," says Frankie. "He didn't swap it for lollipops. He swapped it for some honey." Bears don't know where to get lollipops, but they do know where to find honey. "Oh, of course," says Dad. "I got it wrong. It's a good thing you were here. Shall I start again?" The next evening, Dad is late. There's a problem at work, so he can't get home in time to tell the story of the two little bears. Mom says, "Bedtime. Who would like a great big cuddle?" Frankie replies, "Me, but first I want to hear the story about the two little bears." "Which book is that in?" asks Mom. "It's not in a book," says Frankie. "It's in Dad's head." "Darling, if it is in Dad's head, I don't know it. He will tell you his story tomorrow." So Frankie has to settle for the story of Little Red Riding Hood and the Big Bad Wolf. It's a bit scarier than Dad's story. The next evening at bedtime, Dad says, "Which story would you like this evening?" Frankie answered, "The one about the two little bears, because Mom didn't know it yesterday. That's because I made it up and it's still in my head," says Dad. "That's what Mom told me," Frankie says. "Do you know how Mom could tell you the story that I made up?" asked Dad. "Does she have to look under your hair?" asked Frankie, taking a good look at Dad's hair. "No," laughed Dad. "It's much simpler than that. I will just write the story down on the piece of paper. Mom knows how to read, so she can read you the story as often as you want it." "So Mom knows how to read those scribbles?" "They aren't scribbles," says Dad. "The lines and curves will make letters, and the letter will make a story about our two little bears who skipped and ate honey." "So Mom will be able to tell me your story?" "Yes, she will, when you have a story in your hand. Write it down and Mom can read it as often as she like. And when I read it, I won't get muddled up about who did what." "But there are so many books," says Frankie. "Mom will have to learn all the other stories in all the other books. She will never be able to learn them all." "No, Frankie, When you learn to lead you can lead any book. You don't have to learn the story by heart. Once you know how to lead, you can lead any book you want anytime. So Frankie asked Dad to show him. Dad pick up a piece of paper and a pencil. He writes down the story about the two little bears with the pot of honey and the skipping rope. Frankie watches Dad's scribbles. The lines and curves march tidily across the page. They don't really look like scribble at all. After a while, Dad says, "I'm finished. Go and fetch Mom." Frankie races into the kitchen and shouts, "Mom, Mom, Mom! Come and see!" In Frankie's bedroom, Daddy is waiting with the sheets of paper he's written on. He gives it to Mom, and Mom starts to read it. And it works. It really works. When Mom finished reading the story about loud, Frankie whispers, "It's all there, exactly the story that Daddy had in his head." Is that you go to school for? Yes, that's why you go to school. It's the best place to learn to lead. And when you've learned to lead, you can have so much fun. You can lead anything you want, says Frankie. Bedtime stories, the postcard, and Grandma even sent a letter about the toys she's going to bring. Yes, said Dad. When you can lead in light, you can talk to people everywhere, all over the world. Frankie put his hand on the pillow. He asked Mom for a great big cuddles because today he discovered that leading is one of the best things that can happen to a child. It's one of life's big adventures. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.